Good morning again, Key Stage 1, and welcome to your week 3, day 2 of your English learning. And that English learning is on your traditional tales, this one of the Three Little Pigs, and doing recounts later on in the week. For lesson 2, this is what we're going to be learning about today. So your learning objective is to remember events from a traditional tale. So you are remembering as much of the story from the Three Little Pigs as you possibly can. The first I can draw main events from a tale. I can also draw linking events. So those linking events are the smaller things that happen in between. And I can even remember where key punctuation is used. Let's start our lesson off with a retrieval practice then. So I have got a picture here and you need to think carefully about what this is. It's something that you would have seen in our last unit of work. So pause the video and answer the question, what is this? The answer is this is a text map or a story map. So it's using pictures to retell a story. And this text map is from Little Red Riding Hood. So you should know it quite well. And that brings me on to our next retrieval question. So my next one is, how much of this text map or this story map can you remember? So what you're going to do is you're going to pause the video and you're going to read the text map and see how much of the first paragraph of Little Red Riding Hood you can remember. Pause the video now and give it a go. Today we will be doing a text map of the story of the Three Little Pigs, but this time you are going to be doing it mostly yourself. I know last time for Little Red Riding Hood I gave you the text map, but this time you're going to be trying it more independently, so giving it a go yourself. So you need to really remember the story of the Three Little Pigs. What I would like you to do is either go back to yesterday's video and listen to me read the story again, or find the ebook and read it yourself, or get your grown-up to read it to you, because we need to really remember this story. So pause the video now and make sure that you reread the story of the Three Little Pigs. On to our text mapping then. So you should remember the story quite well. I will show you the 3 different types of text mapping that there are, and then you can decide which one you would like to do. I will show you the mild one first. So remember, we've got mild, medium and hot chili challenges. So this is the mild one. If you would like to do the mild activity, then you will need to find the sheet that looks like this. If you don't have access to a printer, then you can just draw the 15 pictures, so the 15 circles for the 15 pictures in the story. So with this text map, what you're going to do is each picture is going to be a part of the story. So you're going to be drawing each picture. So the first thing that happens is the 3 little pigs leave their mum's house. So I'm going to draw mum's house. And remember, it's not an art lesson, so it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you know what the pictures are, that is fine. So I've drawn mum's house and I'm going to draw my 3 little pigs. And then I'm going to just draw an arrow to show that they are leaving their mum's house. So that's the first part of my story. The second part of my story is when the first little pig meets someone who is selling straw. So he meets a farmer that is selling straw. So I'm going to draw my first little pig. And he meets a man that is selling some straw. Again, it's not an art lesson. As long as you know what you are drawing, that is perfectly fine. So you draw each picture of the story. You can use yesterday's pictures to help you, and then just carry on until you've got every picture in a circle. So each picture from the story is a circle on the text map or on the story map. So if you'd like to give the mild activity a go, you may start now. If you want to listen to see what the medium and hot challenges are, have a listen and keep playing the video. So with the medium activity, we're wanting to get a little bit more detail in. So we're going to be doing a text map more similar to what we did for the Little Red Riding Hood story. So every word, well, most words are going to be a picture of their own, so we can try and remember all the detail. So we're going to start with once upon a time, and just like in the Little Red Riding Hood one, I'm going to write that in words. I can just copy it from the story. It would be useful if you could use the ebook for this one rather than the pictures, because the ebook's got the writing, so you can copy the words. So once upon a time. So it says, once upon a time there were 3 little pigs. So I'm just going to draw my 3 little pigs, so I know that's what that part of the story is. Okay, and that's the first part of the story done. Once upon a time there were 3 little pigs. Okay, so the next part is the pigs lived in a small house with their mum. So for this one, I'm going to draw a pig. And it would take a while to draw all 3 of them. So I'm just going to write times 3 to show the 3 little pigs lived in a small house. We've got small. Lived in a small house with their mum. And stick figures are absolutely fine, they can help. And because the mum's got a dress on and some long hair, which looks a bit like a spider, That's her long hair. I'll remember that that's Mum. So once upon a time there were 3 little pigs. They lived in a small house with their mum. Next one day. So I've got the number 1. Then I'm going to draw a sun to show it's one day. So one day, their mum, I'm going to draw Mum again. One day their mum sent them off. I'm going to show that they sent them off to build. I'm going to draw some bricks for build. To build houses of their own. And that is my text map done. So I haven't got every single word, but I've got the main words in there. So I've got once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs. The pigs lived in a small house with their mum. One day, their mum sent them off to build houses of their own. And that is the medium challenge. So you're going to do that for the rest of the story. It seems like quite a lot of work. So if you need to take a little bit longer than just this lesson, that is okay. If you'd like to listen to what the hot task is, make sure you go on to the next slide before starting your work. If you would like to do the hot task, it is very similar to the medium task, but it's adding in punctuation as well. So I've just copied my text map from the previous slide, and I will show you where that key punctuation goes. I'm going to be doing it in a different colour just to show where that punctuation is and make it really clear. So I've got once upon a time, and then there's a comma. Once upon a time there were 3 little pigs. Full stop. The pigs lived in a small house with their mum. Full stop. One day, comma, their mum sent them off to build houses of their own. Full stop. So it's very similar to the medium task. It's just making sure you know where those key bits of punctuation go. So if you'd like to do the hot task, off you go. Make sure that you pause this video or it will go straight on to the plenary. On these tasks, you can just use a plain piece of paper or lined paper to do the activity. Good luck and have fun with it. Oh, also, if you have finished, you may colour in the pictures if you would like to. Pause the video now. It is time for the plenary then. So your plenary today to check how well you've done your learning is to use your text map or use your story map to retell the story of the 3 little pigs to an adult. So you'll be using your pictures to retell the story. I know these aren't the ones you've been using, but these are some examples up here. You can use these as well if they help you. So pause the video now before we do our reflection and use your story map to tell your grown-up the story of the 3 little pigs. It is the reflection time then. So reflection for our lesson 2. Today you were remembering events from a traditional tale. The first I can draw main events from a traditional tale. So that is the main things that happen. I can also draw linking events. So thinking about the smaller things that happen in there. And I can even remember where key punctuation is used. And that was the hot task, making sure you've got that key punctuation in there. Let's look at tomorrow's learning then. So tomorrow you are going to be orally recalling a traditional tale. And that traditional tale is The Three Little Pigs. So we are building upon what you have learnt so far. Lots of you have already started retelling the text map to your grown-ups, but tomorrow we're going to be adding in a lot more detail and trying to use actions as well to help you remember the story. Because the better you remember the story, the better your writing is going to be later on in this unit. Have a lovely day, and I'll be working with you again tomorrow.